Today we're going to take a look at why recovery is one of the most overlooked aspects of growth and how you can integrate better recovery strategies so you can get your best results. Most people put recovery way down the list of priorities. Why? Because we think we're all going to rest at some point. But the problem for tall, thin folks is that we're very often adrenaline driven, sympathetic nervous system based, and we never really slow down. So many believe that growth happens, when we're beginners, in the gym. Not so. We can get a pump in the gym, but go ahead and weigh yourself when you get there and when you leave. Exactly, right? The real growth comes when you rest, and especially when you sleep. When you rest, your heart rate slows, dopamine goes up, you typically take in some calories, raise endorphins somewhat. This puts you in a state primed for growth. But us driven folk tend to blast through every day like it's our last, pushing toward our goals. Remember why you're doing this in the first place. To enjoy your life more. That's the only reason to do anything. And part of enjoying life is stopping to smell the roses. I have to force myself to stop what I'm doing, load the dogs into the truck and take a drive every day, or I just won't take a break. They enjoy the drive. Often we'll stop at a park and they can run around. We'll grab some French fries. It's nothing exciting, but that's the point. Time to explore, appreciate nature, maybe even talk to another human. When we can relax, we can be on the path to grow. Okay, tip number 2, naps. You ever taken one of these? They're great. Dorian Yates, bring him up again, used to swear by a nap every afternoon after training. I can tell you it's great for recovery and growth. When focused on growth, you're naturally sleepy anyway. Think of a baby. Growth hormone levels are through the roof for infants, making some of the biggest leaps in size of a person's entire life. But not everybody can get a nap in. I get that. But if you can, do. I talked in the last part about training volume and rest days. This is highly individual. I've heard some physique competitors talk about never taking a day off. Okay, if that works for you, fine. But I'm not sure what planet you're from, not mine. Most mortals need at least 2 days of rest, non-workout days, to get any kind of growth. I need 3. When you start out as lean as I did, every pound is hard earned and hard to keep, to be honest. Those rest days are a big part of growing and maintaining for me. And when I really want to grow, I may cut down to just 3 days a week for a time. It's surprising watching the size come on when you're training less. Part of that growth opportunity is brought on by the actual reduction in training days. I'll explain. I may start out a training cycle training 5 days a week, lightly getting back into it after a fast, but going every work day, okay? Then as the weights get heavier and the workout's more intense, I back down to 4 days a week, then 3, and maybe even a week where I just work out twice, before I take a short break and then have a fasting period to start the whole process again. Volume and intensity of training should be inversely proportional, i.e., the harder and heavier you train, the less you train. This gives you an opportunity to recover and to grow. But this should be flexible and dynamic, i.e., not just all over the place. Have a plan. Start out on an 8-week schedule, training 5 days a week, but lightish. Next week or in 2 weeks, switch up to 4 days a week, but the weights and the effort go up. Stick there until you feel the need for more rest, but listen to your body. When you need it, take a day off, then see how full and round your muscles are the next day. This is mostly due to glycogen replenishment. When you're going hard 24/7, your muscles never have a chance to recuperate, refill with glycogen, build up, stores of creatine, and to be able to feed that ATP process that we use in the gym to really move the weights and stimulate that growth. So having full, round, glycogen-filled muscles is almost paramount to a thin person, because when they're depleted, you're just going to do damage. What you need is you need to keep those muscles full. You need to have lots of rest days, and only you can find where that sweet spot. I always talk about sweet spots, but it's so true when it comes to the real world. So, again, my advice, start off back into your training. If you're just getting started into training, train for several days a week, whatever you're comfortable with. Get yourself in the gym, get in the habit of going to the gym. But as you begin to get stronger and as you begin to up your intensity a little bit, add in rest days, add in time off, add in a cheat meal here and there, right? This gives the inverse proportional dynamic that we need to see our muscles and our strength go up and to see our stress go down.